Welcome to Don't Retire, Graduate, the podcast that asks you what you want to be when you grow up so you can graduate into retirement with purpose and passion. I'm your host and valedictorian, Eric Brotman. Welcome to Office Hours, where we answer listeners' questions about personal finance, retirement readiness, and more. We received a question from Janet, who asked, is there anything women should be doing differently than men when it comes to financial planning? And this is a especially important topic because with women tending to live longer than men, and women tending, when they marry in a traditional way, men tend to be older in a marriage, which means there are a lot more widows than widowers in the United States. So, Janet, what women have to do is plan for not only a period of widowhood, but also a period of potentially living alone, which is a significant thing. And they have to plan for longevity in a totally different way. So, in a married couple situation, a traditional married couple, you might have let's say you have an 80-year-old man and a 75-year-old woman. The woman's life expectancy is 7 to 10 to maybe even 12 years longer than the man's at that point. So if the man were to get sick, the woman is typically going to help provide some care until he dies. And then she's going to outlive him by a decade or plus or minus, which means she's not going to have that same level of care or help in the house on a typical basis. It also means that there's a pay cut coming to her. You say, what do you mean there's a pay cut? Isn't there one less mouth to feed? And the answer is, well, yes, there is one less mouth to feed. However, a couple of things are going to happen. When you're widowed, there are expenses that go up. And they go up because you need sometimes to pay for additional help that you might have had in a marital situation. The other thing is you're going to lose some income. If there was a pension, the pension might not have 100% survivorship benefits on it. It might be 50% or 75% or nothing at all. If you're both collecting Social Security, the smaller of the two benefits goes away. So there will be less income at the same point as there'll be more expenses. And that's why, because women outlive men, and because there tends to be a period of widowhood, there has to be different financial planning. Now, do you need different financial planning as a 30-year-old? Typically, no. Assuming you have the same career prospects, the same earning potential, and so forth. And again, politically, we can talk about whether that's the case or not, but it certainly should be. And assuming that's the case, there's no real difference to the planning at 30. But as you get closer to retirement age and you get closer to that moment where you want to have financial independence, it is critically important that you position some of your assets in a place where there's income you can't outlive, or at least the ability to transition to that at some point. And the reason that I say that is there's a tendency, I think, for couples to put everything in joint name, and then one spouse or the other potentially gets sick or has end of life care, and it's really expensive, and the assets get spent down, and then this perfect storm of suddenly being alone, living for an extended period of time, having a pay cut, and potentially having less assets really can play a huge role. So how do you preserve this? If you're married, make sure, if it's financially possible, that you have life insurance on your spouse that he can't outlive. Because the last thing you want is to own just term insurance that expires when he's 73, and now he's 77, he drops dead, and there's no life insurance. You need enough life insurance so that you can draw against that principal to replace the loss of income from Social Security and to replace, at least in part, some of the higher expenses that you're going to have. So, Janet, it's a great question. I hope I've answered it. I hope I've answered it fully. The short answer is women need financial planning just as much, if not more than men, and for a longer period of time. And so I hope if you don't have that level of advice, I hope you get it. And I hope this was helpful in terms of pointing you in the right direction. So thanks for your question. If you'd like to send us a question we might answer on a future episode of Office Hours, please post it on our Facebook page or tweet us at Brotman Planning. I'd like to thank all of you for listening and watching today. We'd love to hear from you. Please send us a message at don'tretiregraduate.com or leave ratings and reviews on your favorite podcast platform. If you enjoyed our show, don't keep us a secret. Tell your friends and family so they can join you on your journey to financial independence. I thank you for coming to Office Hours. We'll be back next Thursday with another engaging guest. For now, this is your host, Eric Brotman, reminding you, don't retire, graduate.
Securities offered through Kestra Investment Services, LLC. Kestra IS. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Kestra Advisory Services, LLC. Kestra AS. An affiliate of Kestra IS. Kestra IS or Kestra AS are not affiliated with Brotman Financial or any other entity discussed.